What is going on, YouTube? It's Devin the Day Trader here, coming at you with another stock review video for the day. And it's honestly been a really good start to the new year, and I'm really excited to see what January has to bring. Today, the market started off really strong, and then it pulled back a little bit. But there is one stock in particular that has been ripping all day long, and that is IDXG. Nothing else really followed up on that stock today, so we are just going to only be reviewing that one. So this one has a very low float at around 7 million. And it is combined with news. So as you would expect, this stock just completely took off today, and the news was that it entered an agreement with the Blue Cross Shield Association Center for something good, I don't know. Whatever it was, it made this stock absolutely take off. As you guys can see after what is going on? So this is the chart on today. I mean, I already started drawing lines here because I'm probably not going to be able to remember everything that's going on, but as you guys can see, it opened up at about 516 and then it ran all the way up to 1250. So an absolutely monster rip on IDXG today. And I did not trade this stock as I thought that it would have been too risky for me. Keep in mind, my account was only $1,300, so when I'm going for these trades, I want to make sure that I get into a trade that can run 20, 30, 40, 50 cents. And like I said on Gale, I completely underestimated this stock. I didn't find out that there was news on it until it was too late, so that's kind of unfortunate for me. But right now, the spreads on this is like 20, 30 cents, so I mean, I'd have to risk a decent amount of my account in order to make some money on this, if I even were to make money on this. So just an overall risky trade for me. Last time I traded was probably over a month ago, and I'm not too worried about that because I'm trading like a stock sniper. I want to make sure that when I get in these trades, I'm going to win, because my account isn't a margin account, so that means every time I take a trade, I have to wait 3 days. And I hope that's why you guys watch my videos, because I have a small account and I'm still learning as well. So hopefully you guys can learn with me and avoid the mistakes that I've made along the way. So anyways, right off the bat, this was a very crappy stock. I mean, this stock was at like 30 cents not too long ago, and then it ended up running to $2. That's why you have this move right here. It did a reverse split of 10 to 1 or 1 to 10. So that means for like every 10 shares you got one stock of. So this stock still is just complete utter garbage. Doesn't take away from the fact that it was valued at under 30 cents at one point. So anyways, right off the bat, looking at this chart setup, it's got great news on it. It's a very low float stock, and it's been on a descending triangle play. Now, for those of you guys who don't know what a descending triangle play is, you have a stock that rips up very high. It falls back down to the initial point from where it took off, which is probably about that $4 mark. Bounced off the support line, it broke that trend line, and then it absolutely ripped up. And now it's it hit that $12 mark, and now it's starting to come back down. So this was the most predictable chart setup I've seen in a while. It's just unfortunate that the spreads opened up way too big for me to enter, and even if I were to enter around that $9, $10 mark, I don't think I would have, because not having a margin account, I would have only been able to buy about 100 shares. So let's clean this setup for us real quick, because I don't want all these lines here. But I mean, like I said, this thing ran up to 1250. Looks like it had a lot of trouble around that $12 mark. And this is a hard chart to look at because it did have that reverse split. So I'm just going to look at it as if it never had that reverse split. So I mean, this $12 mark, it struggled here in the past before, and it struggled here today. So that's no big surprise. If you did get in, you should have probably noticed that resistance mark and locked in around 12. So I'm going to clean up some lines here, and we're going to go over the intraday chart here for you guys. So crazy move here. So this stock opened up, people had this on alert right away. It dropped down a little bit, and it was holding some support around 490. So that was really good right away. It had that support there, and then it ended up going to a red to green move. And red to green moves have so much potential in the market today, because everybody's watching it. Everybody's waiting for that red to green move. It brings in a lot of volatility, brings in a lot of buying, and as you guys can see, it just absolutely took off after it made that red to green move there. So it U-shaped red to green, and then we just had this monster rip. Now, this stock is very scary for me personally, because look at all of these green candles here. There wasn't really necessarily a clean pullback. I mean, obviously there was a clean pullback here, but there was just so much continuation of green candles. And as you guys know, if you are veterans in trading, you know that after so many green candles, there has to be a pullback. So this just went complete beast mode. I think everybody underestimated this. I don't think anybody probably would have thought that this ran up to $10 and then ended up squeezing almost to 13, but it did. So after that, it just kept on going up, going up, going up. It got halted a total, I think, 4 or 5 times. It got halted once around here. Got halted, where was it? Got halted around there, halted here, and then I think it got halted on the way back down right about here in that little gap right there. So this did get halted a lot, 2 times, 3 times to the upside, 1 time to the downside, and then it got halted once again over here. I think somewhere around there, I'm not quite too sure. So anyways, guys, first things first, I mean, it ran up. No really good pullbacks here. I mean, it just kind of went completely straight up, so there's not much to talk about. It double topped around 10.10, so right away you should have, once you've seen that big red candle, you probably should have locked out if you were in once it fell under 10 bucks. Support here was around the $9 mark. As you guys can see, this candle ran up, touched it, halted, candle ran up. It pulled back, that's that lower shadow there, it pulled back to around 9.10, and then it just completely went up, and then it came back down, ran up to 9.10 again. So as you guys can see, that was support, resistance right there. And then the one thing that looked interesting about this stock, I was actually considering about buying some shares on this trend line right here, but like I said, 100 shares, riding trend lines. I'm not really a big fan of trend lines, and we are approaching the afternoon hours as well. So like I said, every single time I thought this stock was done, it just continued to charge on. And this was a very nice setup here, because this is definitely a wedge play, as you guys can see from this trend line. A nice wedge formed, an ascending triangle, and then it channeled. The whole thing just channeled, and I like channeling patterns very much because they are kind of predictable. In a channel, you'll see the stock building higher lows. Volume will sort of fade out a little bit, and then once it gets closer to that wedge mark of about 9.10 of previous resistance, the stock will get that random pop of volume, and as you guys can see, it just absolutely took off. So after this little channel here, it took off, it started moving up. So if you bought on that trend line about somewhere, if that trend line was your stop loss, exit, or entry point, then your next lockup point should have been that $10 mark. If it broke $10 and you already sold, say at like $9.95, $9.90 just to play it safe, broke that $10 mark, you could have looked for another entry above that 10.10 mark. And then it started going back up again. So this chart was very beautiful. I did like it a lot. Just like I said, the spreads opened up way too fast, way too big, and I definitely underestimated how far this stock would run. I was looking at another play. That's how come I ended up missing the frontal move of this full $5 to $10 right there. Once I started looking at it, it was already too late for me to make a trade. And I don't like missing out on big moves like this from 490 all the way up to like 7, because I feel like a part of the trade is already done and that I'm not sure how much it's going to move. But as you guys can see here, it's still continuing very nicely. I don't like how investing.com kind of breaks. But yeah, so very, very clean, nice day on IDXG. Very predictable chart pattern. Not much you could do here now. I think if anything, if this breaks 1250, I think we're going to have a massive rip, because as you guys can see here, that's just big resistance line. If it does break 1250, I really wouldn't be surprised if this ended up running to 20 bucks again, but only time will tell. I mean, just a crazy day, and as you guys can see, it is kind of riding that 13 EMA right now. So I hope I got everything off my chest that I wanted to cover in this video. I hope you guys did find this video useful, and if you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button. No video for me on Friday, the Friday before Christmas, I believe, because the market was just very slow. There was only one mover, and there wasn't really anything too special about it. It only ran up like 30, 40, 50 cents, I believe. So I hope you guys did find this video useful, and if you are new to the channel, it would help me out a lot if you would subscribe. And if you guys would like me to go over in depth more about channeling or ascending triangles, descending triangles, whatever that may be, make sure to leave it in the comments down below. I hope you guys found this video useful, and I will see you all next time. Peace.